Why is a 7zipped file larger than the raw file? Possible duplicate. Why doesn't zip compression compress anything? I tried 7zipping an .exe file, but it actually became larger. Is this the expected result?
If the original executable was already compressed, or contained heavily compressed data or non-compressible data, then compressing it will increase the size.
The compressing idea. The compression software creates a list of files and eliminates the duplicate content. When compressing already compressed files, you may get your compressed files bigger than the original.
Most compression algorithms use what's called a symbol table, basically just pieces of the file it uses as elements it can compress. This, of course, creates some overhead in the file but usually results in a much smaller file. In already compressed files, it still creates a set of symbols, but there's very little that can be reduced the size on. In your case, the symbol table of the already compressed file is probably in the neighborhood of 2 MB or probably more if it did manage to do some compressing.
It comes down to a concept called entropy. See Wikipedia. The basic idea is that, if there existed a compression operation that could always make a file smaller, then logic dictates that said compression operation would be able to reduce any file to 0 bytes and still retain all the data. But this is absurd, because we know that 0 bytes cannot convey any information at all. So we have just proven that there cannot exist a compression algorithm that always makes its input smaller, because if that were the case, any information could be stored in 0 bytes. But 0 bytes implies the absence of information, so you can't simultaneously have no information and all information. Hence, it's absurd. Due to this theoretical concept, every compression program you ever use is going to increase the size of, or at best, maintain the same size of, some input. That is, for any compression algorithm you design or use, there will be certain inputs that will come out smaller, and some that will not. Already compressed data is generally a terrible candidate for further compression, because most lossless compression algorithms are based on the same theoretical principles. It is possible to compress poorly compressed data even further, but this is less efficient than simply compressing it with the best available algorithm from the original data to begin with. For example, if you had a 100 MB text file and compress it using the regular zip algorithm, it might get compressed down to 50 MB. If you then compress the zip file with LSMA 2, you might get it down to 40 or 45 MB, because LSMA has a higher compression ratio for most compressible data than zip does. So it stands to reason that it can also compress zip data, because zip doesn't completely suck all the entropy out of it. But if you eliminate the zip container entirely, you may be able to get it even smaller by compressing the raw text with LSMA 2, potentially yielding something on the order of 30 to 35 MB. These are just air numbers to illustrate the concept. In the case of that binary you're trying to compress, it's larger because the 7zip file format has to create its own internal structure and pack the already compressed executable's data into the 7zip format. This contains things like a dictionary, a file header, and so on. These extra data are usually more than offset by the savings of compressing the data itself, but it appears that the executable you're trying to compress is already compressed with some form of LSMA. Otherwise, it would likely shrink the size of the executable or very slightly increase it, rather than increasing it by 2 MB, which is a lot.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.